Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard says she is running for re-election. She made the announcement on social media asking for campaign volunteers to inbox her.
A few moments later,
we talked to Tiffany Henyard's landlord, and she says she came to this Thornton Township meeting Tuesday night hoping to get paid what she says she's owed.
A few moments later,
Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has lost a battle to regain some control of village board meetings.
So we have an update on the Tiffany Henyard saga. Stay tuned. Welcome to Dalton, Illinois, population 20,000 and the home of the super mayor Tiffany Henyard.
I am Tiffany Henyard, and I am a progressive candidate for mayor of Dalton.
History being made in the south suburbs today.
Congratulations, Madam Mayor.
Tiffany Henyard was sworn in as Dalton's first female mayor. At 37, she's also Dalton's youngest mayor. Other elected officials, city leaders, and residents attended the outdoor ceremony as she took the oath of office. Henyard has promised to bring economic growth, business retention, fiscal management, and improved infrastructure to that community.
Now, 1 year after that swearing in, residents in Dalton found out that, hey, we hired a lunatic and tried to recall her.
Trustees in South Suburban Dalton say 56% of voters want their mayor removed from office in a controversial recall vote.
But the mayor says the recall bid was badly flawed, and now she's suing to throw out the referendum. WGN's Julian Cruz is at Dalton Village Hall with the fallout.
Good evening. You may remember back in the spring, Mayor Tiffany Henyard filing a lawsuit arguing that the recall referendum was unconstitutional. A Cook County judge then ordering the county clerk to disregard the results of yesterday's recall referendum. And then at the 11th hour, an appellate court reversing that decision until this entire matter can be decided in court later this summer.
Now, the appeals court sided with Tiffany Henyard and threw out the recall results.
After 1 year in office in June 2022, voters recalled her. Yet Henyard fought back in the Illinois appellate court throughout recall votes, resulting in this celebratory Henyard at the start of a city council meeting.
Ain't no stopping us now.
So now the people were stuck with this insano mayor. Literally, the worst mayor in America.
The FBI is continuing its investigation into an Illinois mayor who is becoming notorious for all the wrong reasons. The agency filing subpoenas to see her financial records and those of her closest allies. Dalton, Illinois mayor Tiffany Henyard has been under intense scrutiny and ridicule over her alleged spending of taxpayer money. Those expenditures include tens of thousands of dollars worth of luxury travel to Las Vegas and Atlanta, also pricey meals, also hair and makeup. Subpoenas were issued for her boyfriend, her top aide, the acting police chief, her charity, and those are just a few, as you can see on your screen right there.
Now, with all this drama happening, Tiffany Henyard announced on Facebook that she's running for re-election again. Check it out.
She's facing multiple investigations, accused of misusing village funds, but that's not stopping Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard from running for re-election.
Yet on social media, Henyard writes, "I'm running for re-election of mayor of Dalton," adding, "If you support me and my team or would like to volunteer, inbox me." Henyard has plans to stick around despite ongoing probes, orders from judges forbidding her from making any appointments, and possible eviction from her home. And she's done her share of suing, too. Last week, she filed suit against 4 board members and the Park District. She accused them of illegally holding meetings outside of Village Hall.
Okay, let me pause this video and ask you a question. Have you used Google Chrome's Incognito Mode between 2016 and 2023? If so, you may be entitled to up to $5,000 in compensation. Now, if you use Incognito Mode, Google was secretly tracking your data despite their promises that your search history and personal information was not going to be collected or tracked.
Collects 39 individual data points on you, and so this is all about data. They're trying to figure out how they can get access to it. So creating this incognito mode was supposed to be a way that they were not capturing or retaining your data. That's what we all believed, but they were capturing it. What Google says is we were capturing it, but we weren't keeping it on an individual basis. But the individuals that filed suit were saying no. We signed up for incognito mode believing that when we used it, you weren't capturing our data at all.
What's the next thing, right? So speaking of what's the next thing, what happens to Google now? Are they at risk of more lawsuits from this?
100%.
So if you've used Google's Incognito Mode during the period of 2016 to 2023, you could be eligible to join the lawsuit at no cost to you. Visit browserclaim.com to see if you qualify. There are no upfront costs, no hidden fees. Simply fill out the form and start your claim. Now, I need you to understand, participating in any lawsuit doesn't guarantee compensation, but you do have the right to seek compensation if your privacy was violated. Now, full disclosure, my firm isn't the only one involved. For instance, one of the largest firms in the country, Morgan & Morgan, is also asking for clients for this lawsuit. Now, for more information and to get started, visit browserclaim.com today to protect your rights and hold Google accountable. Now, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Now, back to the video. Now, that was a great transition to our next issue, which is Tiffany Henyard suing the board of directors. Now, this is going to take a little explaining. Now, the state attorney general sent a letter to Dalton claiming that they were violating what's known as the Open Meetings Act. Any public meeting that's held by a government has to be held in a way to allow the maximum participation of the citizens. Tiffany Henyard was holding her meetings at Village Hall, which had a limited amount of seats. So both a judge and the Illinois Attorney General said, you can't continue to hold meetings at Village Hall because it's not big enough. So trustees followed the ruling from the court and from the Attorney General and moved the meetings to a bigger venue. But Tiffany Henyard didn't want to follow the judge's order or the Attorney General's order. She wanted to have meetings at Village Hall to limit capacity. So at the last Village Board meeting, you had essentially two meetings. One at the proper location that the court said it should be had at so you can have maximum participation. And then you had Tiffany Henyard having one at Village Hall because she didn't care what the judge said. Here's local news explaining it.
Competing Village Board meetings now at the center of a lawsuit. Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, trustees Andrew Holmes and Stan Brown say this Monday night meeting at the Park District was illegal. Max Solomon is their attorney.
We believe strongly that that meeting was improperly called and improperly held. The residents of Dalton were confused.
The meeting held at Village Hall that night canceled for a lack of a quorum. When Tiffany Henyard showed up at the Park District, she got heckled. Trustee Jason House told NBC5 the meeting was held at the Park District because of Open Meeting Act violations. The village recently cited by the Attorney General's office for failing to make meetings convenient or open to the public. Residents have often complained about limited seating and barricades at those meetings.
The mayor took steps to correct those things that the Attorney General required. And so we believe that for that reason, the meeting was supposed to have been here. And if it wasn't going to be here, there were steps that could have been taken.
The lawsuit is asking for Village Hall to be named the primary place for village business and that some of the business conducted at those meetings outside of Village Hall since September 3rd be invalidated.
And the people deserve to know where their meetings are going to be held, one meeting, where it's going to be held, and what's on the agenda.
So, as you heard from Henyard's attorney, they are going to win this case. They have the law on their side. They took steps to make sure Village Hall was good enough. So they went to court, as you heard, and this is what the judge said.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard has lost a battle to regain some control of Village Board meetings. She filed a complaint after a majority of trustees moved the meetings to a Dalton Park District building to accommodate large and sometimes raucous crowds. Earlier this month, Mayor Henyard got booed out of a meeting organized by trustees angry over her lavish spending and leadership. Henyard asked a judge to invalidate decisions made at the meetings and force them to gather at Village Hall. Trustees say the judge has sided with them and agree their meetings do not violate the Open Meetings Act.
Well, today a judge ruled while meetings can be held at the Park District, Henyard must preside over them. The judge specifically saying trustee Jason House overstepped his powers, presiding over that October 7th meeting, adding he should have given Henyard more time to arrive. House says tonight he will honor the ruling, adding, quote, "This is a victory not just for us, but for the entire community, as it upholds the principles of fairness and transparency."
Now, last but not least, Tiffany Henyard's landlord is trying to serve Tiffany Henyard paperwork to evict her from her home. Here is the landlord explaining it.
I'm just here because I'm at wit's end and I fear that I'm going to go into foreclosure soon if I can't get this matter handled.
Hall says Henyard and the man with whom she shares the home, Kamal Woods, haven't paid the $2,400 per month rent on the Dalton home they leased from her for October or September. In August, she says they paid just $2,200.
I would have told the judge that she owes me $5,000 in behind rent, plus whatever the late fees are.
She would have told the judge, but she says neither Henyard nor Woods showed up for a court date Tuesday. Court documents show Cook County Sheriff's deputies have tried and failed to serve Henyard and Woods with eviction papers earlier this month, both at home and Dalton Village Hall. And when Hull showed up to this home Saturday for maintenance, she says she was locked out, locks and garage door code altered.
I gave them 48 hours notice. And then I also texted them about 15 minutes before I got here. So there's a code on the garage, and then there's locks on the front door that were changed.
In a statement, an attorney for Tiffany Henyard told NBC5 no comment at this time.
For a household that makes, over $350,000 a year, I'm asking for pennies.
Hull says she hasn't been able to gain access to the home or garage to do maintenance.
So Tiffany Henyard is being evicted and running from process servers. Who would have thought? Okay, so let's recap. Tiffany Henyard is running for re-election. She announced it on Facebook. Then she sued the trustees for holding a meeting. The judge came back and said, hey, their meeting was legit. Everything they said was good. And you just wasted more of the town's money on a frivolous lawsuit. Now, as we watch the countdown till Tiffany Henyard's ultimate arrest by the FBI for corruption, if that happens, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. This has been your weekly update on the madness in Dalton from the super mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard. Peace.